Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of ways that you can help your child to prepare for kindergarten level reading. In my most recent video, I talked about how to prepare your toddler for reading, and one of the last things I touched on was to help them build their initial sound fluency. So being able to quickly recognize that is the beginning of the word mop. So I'm going to be talking about that as well as reading CVC words, letter identification, and handwriting. I wanted to share a couple of resources with you that you can tap into to help your child to practice these things, because it's really important for them to gain a mastery of it. And if they're doing this prior to entering kindergarten, they're going to be ahead of the game and be able to have a lot of success right off the bat. This book is called Explode the Code Level A. This is going to be a great start to helping your child build that initial sound fluency and also practice things like visual discrimination, which is really important for them to be able to recognize letters, and letter tracing. The next resource I want to share with you comes from Jada, and she is a homeschooling mom. She has a lot of wisdom regarding hands-on activities for your kids and also how to teach kids to read. So I purchased her preschool curriculum for reading, math, and writing, as well as her PreK curriculum for reading and math. But I wanted to share that the PreK binder that she has is so great for hands-on activities. This is something that I think is so important for kids to be able to do, because they're also practicing their fine motor skills, and that's going to help them with handwriting. I really do think this is something worth tapping into, at least for them to practice before they enter kindergarten. Some other great resources include things like this. It's a wipe and clean book, and I love this because it's reusable. The child can practice tracing their letters and also connect those letters to the initial sounds that they make. This is another resource that I think is fantastic for helping the child to practice their name. And again, this is something that's really important for them to do when they're entering kindergarten. This worksheet in particular was completely free. I just typed my daughter's name in. She also has her last name there. I just covered it up for privacy. Indicate how many lines that you want the child to practice on, and then the font. Now, as your child gets really comfortable with their initial sounds, if you want to bring them a little bit further, I love these CVC word cards. And so they have the different dots here in different colors to indicate each of the sounds of this word. So for instance, we have a mop, and so the child will go ah, p, mop. Then what you can have your child do next is have some letters prepared for them. So these are just recycled bottle caps, and I drew letters on top of them, and they can just match it up to wherever that sound happens in the word. The other thing that I would like to use sometimes are these magnetic letters, and so we can also use that to spell out the word cap. And if you're interested in these, I will have it linked down below for you. Another very important thing that your child can practice before entering kindergarten is being able to name their uppercase and lowercase letters. So for instance, recognizing that this is the letter P. This is something that your child may already be doing, but it's important to help them continue to do it. As my daughter was practicing this skill, one thing that I had her do as far as a hands-on activity was to match up her uppercase letter with the lowercase letter and being able to say, this is the letter P. I had a banner of different letters of the alphabet, and I decided to take it down and just cut it up and make a self-correcting puzzle for her. So she would find the letter P, link it up with the baby letter P, and then she would identify that this is the uppercase P, this is the lowercase P. Now onto a resource that I truly loved and that helped my two older children transition from pre-K to kindergarten, and that is Bob books. These are really sweet and simple stories that a child can read when they are first starting to practice those consonant, vowel, consonant words. These books come in a box set of about 12 books, and with each book it gets a little bit harder and harder. And the other thing I want to mention is that they will also introduce some simple sight words. So a couple of them that your child is going to see immediately are the words the, and. Those words are called high frequency words because you're going to encounter them in almost every written text that you read. Just a quick tip about sight words and high frequency words. At the very beginning, when my current kindergartner was just kind of moving on to picking up and reading books like this, I just let her kind of encounter these words and, learn them as she went. If you're wanting your child to practice more sight words, there are lists that you can download so that you can kind of help your child practice some of those first lists of words. And there's two in particular that are very commonly used. One is the Dolch list of sight words and the other is Fry's. When my daughter was in kindergarten, her teacher used Fry's list of 100 words. And so that is what she practiced at the time. But my current kindergartner, who is being homeschooled, is using all of the sight words that she's learning in the curriculum as well as in flashcards that I purchased for her. I would recommend that you just take it easy with your child and introduce things slowly to them as they're reading simple books like Bob Books. I have 3 other videos about teaching reading and I highly suggest you check them out. I'm gonna leave it right here for you. Take care, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.